As you can see on the cover, Karen gets a too short haircut. In the original book, Karen's bad haircut was a mullet. I think they should have kept the mullet in this version. I just checked. There were 10 news stories about mullets this past week. Mullets are definitely back in style.
Argo Font Book Review, Argo Font Book Review.
Karen plays a dress-up game called Lovely Ladies. When she sees herself in the mirror, she wishes she looked different. She doesn't like her glasses, and her two grown-up teeth make her look like a rabbit. She feels like an ugly duckling. Karen feels like more of an ugly duckling when she loses 2 teeth at Dad's house. Her friend Hannie suggests getting a haircut at Gloriana's House of Hair. A new hairstyle will make Karen look extra glamorous. Hannie says she's having a pretend wedding with Scott soon. If Karen looks pretty enough, she can be a bridesmaid. Is Hannie saying Karen is normally too ugly to be a bridesmaid? That's rude. Karen begs Daddy for a haircut and a mani-pedi. He's a pushover, so he says yes to everything, except the pedicure. Karen and her friends go through magazines until they find the perfect haircut. Karen gives that picture to Gloriana, saying she wants her hair just like that. Gloriana is a terrible hairstylist. She completely ignores Karen's instructions and gives Karen a short haircut. Karen openly cries as Mom confirms that's not the haircut they asked for. Karen should complain to the manager. Gloriana should be fired over this. I don't care that she owns the hair salon. She still deserves to be fired for ignoring customers and making kids cry. At school, the kids are shocked to see Karen's hair. They tease her. Ricky calls her the bride of Frankenstein. Wait a second. This is Ricky's hair. This is Karen's hair. Ricky's, Karen's. They have the same haircut. Why is Ricky making fun of her hair? Karen also looks a lot like her brother Andrew, but nobody comments on this. Hannie says Karen can't be in the wedding anymore. Karen's upset all day long. She decides she doesn't feel like Karen anymore, so she picks a new glamorous name, Tiffany. She also puts on sparkly gold nail polish that she got from babysitter Stacy McGill. Honestly, Karen should ask Stacy for a fashionable makeover. I'm sure she would have some good ideas for dealing with this bad haircut. Karen tells Hannie that she's got a new name and new nails. Hannie says, nice try, but no! She still has the same bad hair and teeth, so she can't be in the wedding. Hannie says goodbye and hangs up on Karen. Hannie is a jerk! She makes faces at Karen at school. She's so mean. I don't understand why the two of them are friends. For the next 20 pages, Karen starts wearing different makeup and jewelry. I'm shocked her parents let her go to school looking like that. She picks new glamorous names. Nothing works. Hannie refuses to let Karen come to the wedding, and everybody but Ricky keeps calling her Karen. Karen's flat out appalled when Mom dead names her. The day before the wedding, Hannie has a bike accident. Her 2 front teeth fall out. Hannie thinks she's so ugly she can't get married anymore. Scott disagrees. He says he loves Hannie no matter what she looks like. Hannie reflects on this and realizes she was wrong for excluding Karen. She apologizes for being a bad friend, and she agrees to let Karen be a bridesmaid at the wedding. Karen's happy and decides to go back to being her normal self. The whole neighborhood comes out for the wedding, and Karen has a lot of fun. She's excited when 2 older girls get the same haircut as her. Either Karen started a new fashion trend, or Gloriana was right about how popular that hairstyle is. Ricky asks Karen if she'll marry him someday, like maybe book 15. So, 4 years from now? Talk about a long-term engagement. The end. Post-book follow-up. I liked this more than the original book. Maybe it works better because we can see Karen's haircut on every single page. It also works better because Karen is more of a victim and less of a show-off. The downside is that Hannie comes across as nastier for repeatedly insulting the way Karen looks. In the end, Hannie says she's not sure why she was so mean and beauty-obsessed. That almost felt like an apology from the author. I'm sorry, I couldn't think of a good reason why Hannie is so out of character in this book. I'll introduce an antagonist in the next book, so Hannie doesn't have to be the villain again. The first third of the book is fairly slow. It's 30% of the way through before Hannie floats the idea of getting a haircut. The middle third was pretty repetitive. Seeing Karen try out the name Chantal is not that different from seeing her try out the name Tiffany. Just like how seeing her with pink nails is not that different from seeing her with sparkly nails. The final 3 chapters were probably the ones I liked the most, those in the haircut chapter. I still can't believe Gloriana ignored the picture and gave Karen a haircut she didn't want. Overall, I did like the book better than the original. My daughter didn't like it because it's basically a story of Karen being humiliated and angry for 50 pages. That's a fair complaint. I could also understand if people dislike how this book puts a lot of pressure on second-grade girls to be concerned about their looks, although they did make a concentrated effort to be less obsessed with beauty and looks than the original. I give Babysitter's Little Sister, graphic novel number 7, Karen's Haircut, a sideways thumbs up.